In May of 2024, Japan paused in anticipation of a moment that would test the resolve, pride, and fury of one of its greatest champions. Inside the Tokyo Dome, under the blazing lights and before tens of thousands of fans, Naoya, the monster Inoue, prepared to face a man many in his country despised, a man who had wronged a national hero and tainted the sacred code of fair fighting. His name was Luis Neri, a ferocious southpaw from Mexico, known for his ruthless left hand, his dangerous aggression, and, perhaps most infamously, his cheating past. This was not just a boxing match. This was vengeance disguised as sport. The air in the Tokyo Dome that night felt heavier than usual. Every heartbeat echoed through the arena as the crowd chanted for their hero. Japan's pride, its modern-day samurai, was about to step into battle not only for a championship belt but for something far greater: justice. The opponent across from him was not merely another challenger. He was the villain of a nation's memory, a symbol of betrayal. Years earlier, Luis Neri had faced Japan's beloved Shinsuke Yamanaka, a respected world champion and a national treasure. Yamanaka was revered for his discipline, humility, and integrity, the embodiment of Japanese fighting spirit. But when Neri came to Japan, he shattered that image in brutal fashion. Twice, he defeated Yamanaka, once after testing positive for a banned substance, and then again after failing to make weight. To the Japanese people, these were not just violations of rules. They were acts of deep disrespect. The sting of those defeats remained sharp in Japan's collective memory, and Naoya Inoue, who admired Yamanaka and called him a friend, carried that wound in his heart. So when Neri returned to Japan, this time for Inoue's undisputed bantamweight titles, the story was no longer about belts or records. It was personal. It was about redemption, not for Inoue, but for a nation and a friend who had been wronged. The fans wanted nothing less than destruction. As the night began, the Tokyo Dome glowed like a temple ready for battle. The energy was electric, vibrating through every soul in attendance. Commentators spoke in hushed tones about the gravity of the moment. Naoya Inoue, undefeated, undisputed, and seemingly untouchable, was about to defend his crown for the first time as the undisputed bantamweight king. Across from him stood a man with 35 wins, 27 of them by knockout, a fighter feared for his raw power and relentless offense. Luis Pantera Neri, the Panther, was dangerous, explosive, and unapologetic. As the ring announcer introduced the fighters, the contrast was palpable. Inoue stood calm, composed, and cold, his eyes burning with the quiet intensity of a warrior. Neri, defiant and brash, glared back, his muscles coiled with arrogance. The crowd responded with hostility. Boos filled the dome as Neri's name was called. Some fans even raised their middle fingers, a rare and uncharacteristic display of rage from the normally polite Japanese audience. And then, the bell rang. From the opening seconds, the tension exploded. Inoue, known for his surgical precision and explosive speed, took the center of the ring. He flicked out sharp jabs, testing the distance, reading the rhythm of his foe. Neri, unafraid, charged forward, swinging his heavy left hand like a hammer, determined to impose himself early. The Mexican was reckless but dangerous, exactly as expected. Then it happened. In a shocking twist that silenced the arena, Neri landed a monstrous left hook. The punch crashed against Inoue's chin, and for the first time in his professional career, the monster fell. Gasps rippled through the Tokyo Dome. The Japanese crowd froze in disbelief as their champion, the man who seemed invincible, dropped to one knee. The referee's count echoed through the arena. For a moment, time itself seemed to stop. But then, something inside Inoue shifted. His eyes, burning with a cold fire, told the story. He was not broken. He was awakening. As the round continued, Neri lunged in, throwing bombs, hoping to finish the job. He saw blood in the water and tried to drown the monster. But Inoue's composure, even in chaos, was something otherworldly. He slipped punches, rolled with the shots, and began firing back with sharp counters. The crowd erupted as Inoue weathered the storm. The monster had tasted adversity for the first time, and he responded not with panic, but with precision. When the bell ended the round, the Japanese fans exhaled in unison. Their hero had survived, and now they knew what was coming. Inoue returned to his corner with an icy expression. His trainer gave calm instructions, but the fire in Inoue's eyes said everything. The monster was awake. Round 2 began, and Inoue stepped forward like a man possessed. He unleashed a barrage of combinations, fast, crisp, and devastatingly accurate. A straight right hand split Neri's guard, followed by a left hook to the body. The Mexican staggered backward. The energy in the dome shifted. The fans could sense the tide turning. Then, with surgical timing, Inoue connected with a right cross that sent Neri crashing to the canvas. The crowd exploded. The roar inside the Tokyo Dome was deafening. The monster had roared back. Neri rose, but his confidence had wavered. He smiled defiantly, but his eyes betrayed him. Inoue smelled fear. The momentum was his now, and the punishment was only beginning. By round 3, Inoue was in full control. Every punch he threw carried menace and intent. His movements were fluid, almost effortless, as he dissected the Mexican with precision. Neri tried to rally, winging wild hooks, but Inoue's timing was too sharp, his footwork too perfect. Each time Neri attacked, he walked into a counter that made him pay. The Japanese fans, once anxious, were now ecstatic. They could feel the revenge taking form in real time. Inoue pressed forward, his combinations snapping like thunder. A double jab followed by a right hand shook Neri's head back. Then came the signature left hook to the body, the kind of punch that breaks men from the inside. Neri winced but refused to back down. His pride wouldn't let him. The fight had turned into a storm of violence, each round more intense than the last. In the fourth, Inoue's rhythm was pure poetry. Every motion was calculated, every strike deliberate. He mixed his attacks beautifully, hooks to the head, uppercuts through the middle, and those devastating liver shots that left Neri gasping. The crowd's chants grew louder with every exchange. They weren't just watching a fight, they were witnessing a reckoning. Then came round 5, the moment when vengeance turned into domination. Neri, visibly slowing, tried to press forward once more, perhaps hoping for another lucky shot. But Inoue's timing was on another level. He slipped a jab, countered with a sharp right, then ripped a left hook to the body. Neri's knees buckled. The monster smelled blood. Inoue unleashed a flurry, left, right, uppercut, and right cross. The sequence was breathtaking, each punch landing with sniper accuracy. Pinned against the ropes, Neri tried to cover up, but there was no escape. Inoue was relentless, his punches flowing like a violent symphony. The referee hovered close, ready to intervene, but the Mexican somehow survived the round. Barely. The crowd was in a frenzy. Every fan inside the Tokyo Dome could feel the end approaching. They had come to see their champion deliver justice, and now it was only a matter of time. As round 6 began, Inoue walked forward with calm menace. Neri's corner screamed for their fighter to move, to clinch, to survive, but he was done. His body was broken, his spirit fading. Inoue cornered him again, unleashed a right uppercut that snapped Neri's head back, followed by a clean right cross that sent him sprawling. The referee stepped in. It was over. The Tokyo Dome erupted in chaos and joy. Fans wept, shouted, and chanted Inoue's name. The monster had not only defended his undisputed title, he had delivered the vengeance Japan had been waiting for. Neri, once feared, was left beaten and humbled. The ghost of Yamanaka's loss had finally been exorcised. Inoue stood in the center of the ring, emotionless at first, then raised his hands to the roaring crowd. The monster had emerged from adversity stronger than ever. He had been knocked down, tested like never before, and had responded with pure destruction. In the post-fight interview, Inoue spoke softly but firmly. He admitted that Neri's cheating past had fueled his motivation. "What he did to Yamanaka," Inoue said, "I could not forget. Tonight, I fought for him and for Japan." That night, his words resonated deeply with fans across the country. For many, it wasn't just a boxing match. It was the culmination of years of frustration, finally released through Inoue's fists. The statistics told their own story. In 6 rounds, Inoue landed over 60% of his power punches. Neri, known for his knockout strength, was systematically dismantled. It was one of the most dominant performances in modern boxing and one of the most emotionally charged. Analysts across the world hailed it as one of the greatest displays of controlled aggression in boxing history. Inoue's ability to recover from his first professional knockdown and respond with technical brilliance showcased why he was, once again, ranked as the #1 pound-for-pound boxer on the planet. In recognition of his performance, the WBC awarded him the honorary Diamond Belt, a symbolic acknowledgement of his dominance and of the moral victory he had delivered on behalf of his nation. That night also carried another layer of poetic symmetry. On the undercard, Inoue's younger brother, Takuma, had faced his own test. Like his brother, Takuma was knocked down early but rose to win his fight by decision. It was as if both brothers embodied the same spirit: resilience, honor, and unyielding determination. As the celebrations continued, replays of the knockout circulated across Japanese television and social media. Millions watched, replayed, and celebrated the moment Inoue dropped Neri for the final time. The call from the Japanese commentator echoed through homes nationwide, a mix of awe, pride, and catharsis. For a country that values integrity and discipline, seeing the cheater fall to the pure-hearted warrior was deeply satisfying. Internationally, fans marveled at Inoue's mastery. Journalists compared his precision to that of a sniper and his timing to that of a concert pianist. Every punch was placed perfectly, every move deliberate. He wasn't just winning fights, he was redefining what it meant to be a modern fighter. Inoue's story from that night became a symbol, not just of revenge, but of redemption through discipline. He had shown that true strength lies not in anger, but in control. He didn't rush for the knockout. He crafted it, piece by piece, until the opponent had no choice but to fall. After the fight, Japanese newspapers printed headlines that captured the nation's mood: Inoue delivers justice. Monster redeems Japan. Honor restored in the Tokyo Dome. Even Neri, battered and broken, could only offer respect. "He's the best I've ever faced," he admitted. "He's not human. He's a monster." For Naoya Inoue, the victory was more than just another defense of his titles. It was the culmination of years of dedication, the validation of his philosophy, that true warriors fight not for hate, but for honor. Weeks after the fight, footage of Inoue's knockout win continued to dominate highlight reels. It became one of the most watched events in Japanese Amazon Prime Video history. Young boxers across the country studied his movements, his patience, and his technique. The monster had once again elevated the sport to an art form of precision and courage. Inoue's calm demeanor in victory contrasted sharply with the chaos of his punches. He didn't celebrate wildly. He simply bowed to the crowd, a gesture of humility and respect. That moment, the warrior bowing after battle, encapsulated everything that made him special. In the eyes of Japan, he wasn't just a champion. He was a symbol of integrity restored. The man who avenged a friend, who fought with honor, and who reminded the world that sometimes the most dangerous monster is the one who fights with a heart full of purpose. As the lights dimmed in the Tokyo Dome and the crowd slowly dispersed, one truth remained. That night, Naoya Inoue didn't just win a fight. He wrote a story that will live forever in the heart of Japanese boxing, a story of redemption, vengeance, and the unbreakable spirit of a true champion. And for the millions who witnessed it, that night was proof that sometimes the sweetest form of justice comes not from words, but from the power of a single perfect punch.